This is Stronger Together, the podcast. Now our host, Gianna Varati.
Welcome to the inaugural show of Stronger Together. We're going to be covering stories of hope and resilience, strength, and most importantly, we're going to be talking about normalizing the conversation about mental well-being and PTS. Anyone who knows me at all knows that I strongly believe in sense of community. Not one of us holds the key to the kingdom, and if we all say that we have this end mission in mind, then we all need to work together unified. The only way that we're going to make a difference is if we grow stronger together. Joining me today is Cervantes and Kristin Buxton from Special Forces Foundation, two of my very favorite people. We're going to talk about what it's like to be a Green Beret and the struggles that JP endured in and the struggles on the transition out. And then we're going to be talking to Kristin about the new app that Special Forces Foundation has for the Green Berets and the upcoming app that they also have for the families and what they're doing, and our Let's Walk It Out 222-mile ruck march coming up in April 7th through April 17th in Fayetteville. So I hope you have a good time today, and hopefully we'll provide you some strength. So joining me today is my very good friends, JP Cervantes and Kristin Buxton with Special Forces Foundation. So before we even get into this, JP, let's talk a little bit about this 222-mile ruck march that we have going on. Tell me how that came to fruition and where are we at with that?
Okay, so the way that started is, I got the VTSR podcast. We talk a lot about transition. And so because of that, a lot of people approach me all the time and they go like, hey, JP, I really like what you said there, or why you didn't, I didn't like what you said. And so I like to talk to a lot of people. And I normally ask them, hey, listen, I know there's a lot of people that do 22 push-ups a day, hashtag 22. And there's a lot of things that people are doing to show support for suicide. And but my question to them always is like, when you see that, does that makes you change your mind about suicide? And the response that I got most of the time was like, no, not really, because they don't understand my pain. And the word pain stuck to me, right? So I got like pain. So one day I'm sitting here and I'm going like, oh, okay, well, pain, how can I do that? Okay, people do, 5-mile rock march or a 10-mile run. I'm like, that's great. It's like, but there's really pain in that? I'm like, no. I'm like, well, 22, how about we just add another 2 and we make it a 222-mile rock march, and I guarantee you I'll be in pain. Right now, it's not the same pain, right? And mental pain and physical pain is different. But I think that if we show, hey, listen, I'm willing to take some pain with you, and the rock march is to show that we're willing to carry that burden with you. All you got to do is stick around, stay with us, and we'll figure it out. I figure it out, right? Now, I went through the same thing. I figure it out. So it is just showing people that there's people around that are willing to take that pain with you. They're willing to carry the burden. You just got to let them into your life, because a lot of times we just want to isolate, and that never helps.
100%. So one, let's talk a little bit about the ruck and the route that we're doing and what we're doing at each stop and what that looks like.
So the route we're gonna get started in Fayetteville, North Carolina, right? My what I call my hometown now, because I've been living here since 1995.
And your home. We're gonna start at your home, essentially.
That's right, and specifically at Charlie Mike's Pub, which is technically my home, right? We're gonna get started there, and then once we go from there, we're gonna go to our first stop. Is gonna be Otterville, North Carolina, approximately about 24 miles from Charlie Mike's. And then from Otterville, we're going to Clinton.
Mm-hmm.
Clinton, North Carolina. Then we're going to Kernsville. Then from there, we're going to Richlands. And then we're going to end up at Lejeune. And then we'll do it all the way back again to Charlie Mike's in, of course, reverse order. But the almost all the legs are anything from 23 to 24 miles per movement each day. Except for the last 2, which is going from Richlands to Lejeune and back to Richlands, are only 17 miles. And I say only. And I know a lot of people were like 17 miles, but only compared to the other 24, right?
It will feel refreshing.
And so, and yeah, and then every night when we stop, The beauty is, of course, we're going to be in a group, all the walkers, all the support personnel, the volunteers, and any other members of the community that shows up. We're just going to hang out. We're going to talk. We're going to share experiences, right? Because that's what we want to do. But we also going to have different people from either the local community or from other foundations that are going to talk about mental health and are going to talk about different tools, what people like the VA or maybe different foundations or organizations are doing to help with mental health and how to cope with that. And I think that if we start talking about it in a group of people that really dealt with it, people are going to start feeling better about, you know what, it's okay. I can talk about this.
You normalize, it's normalized to talk about it. That's the goal.
I don't have to feel bad about it. I can actually talk about it. And people are here having a good time with me. They have similar experiences and we're laughing with each other about it. And it is okay. We're still around. That's good.
I think that's one of the biggest things also that people don't understand is that people have bad days. People have trauma, right? And
right.
You're not the only person on the face of the earth to have experienced something bad. And so to feel like you need to isolate and not talk about that when it's part of being a human being, right? And so I think that that's something that we need to stress upon as well. And then I love the part that the community is going to come be there with us because
and the community has been amazing.
I can't wait to hear about it.
Like, thank you to all of the supporters of the leg sponsors, the title sponsors, people that are willing to volunteer. It's been a tremendous response. And it's exciting to see us engage as a community because it's relational and that's what it's all about.
And building that bridge to the civilian community, right? And that
absolutely
helping them understand that there's this ripple effect of if a first responder or a veteran or an active duty member is struggling as well, like that also feeds into the civilian community because they interact with their family interacts and they have to go to work. And if somebody's struggling, that carries over. And so they also need to understand how it works on the military side too, and how they can be a support system or empower and strengthen those that are struggling in those aspects.
One thing that I like to tell people is like, you got to think about when somebody's struggling with mental health, one person, you got to add 10 more people, at least that's a minimum, that gets affected when one person is struggling. You're talking about parents, brothers, sisters, kids, friends, but a minimum of 10 other people get affected by one person.
I love that. I've never heard that before.
Conversely, 10 people can help that one person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm going to steal that from you, JP. I'm going to credit you 3 times and then no more.
Okay. I'll take
it. No more residuals.
No residuals at all. So, JP, give me a little bit of your background and why this is so important to you and, building this community that you really have. You brought Kristin and I together. You have been a nucleus within the community to bring all forces together and not just alienate. Like we see so many people not willing to work with one another, but we really want to bring everybody unified, especially on this topic. So give me a little bit of your background, or I know your background, but give everybody else a little bit of your background.
So in a nutshell, I spent 17 years in the military. Most of my career I spent in 7 Special Forces Group. So I retired from there as a CW3. And after I retired, I did struggle, just like a lot of people did, with transitioning. Of course, transitioning, and at the same time, a divorce. At the same time, my kid moving away. So there was a lot of things that, financial hardships, just like everybody in a divorce, majority of the people in a divorce go through. So yeah, I was struggling. I was really hurting, and it took a lot of my friends to come together and start supporting me and telling me, hey, JP, you want to do this? You want to help with this project I got going on, and try to put me, get me going again. And that's what did it. So then after that, I started a company and I started doing contracting, and I go well, how can I give back? Well, I can start hiring guys that are struggling right now and put them to work, make sure that they feel useful again, because that's the problem. Once we retire, we feel like we're not any use for anyone anymore. Okay, I cannot go down to, downtown and go okay, give me a mission. What door I got to blow up here? I got to do something. We can't do that anymore. So we don't feel useful, but we are. So the way I did it was like, let me put people to work. Got it. That was the first part of the mission. Now how I can get all these other people from different organizations, civilians and all that, how I can get them together to start helping each other, right? There's no competition here. I know plenty of companies that do the same thing that my company does. And I still promote them. I'll send them work when I don't want to get the work, I don't want to do it or whatever, or I just can't do it.
Right.
I send them. So we do that. And I think that with foundations is the same way. So I started volunteering, just helping anybody who asked me for help. Hey, JP, I got an event. Can you help me promote this? Or can you help me with this event? And I'm like, I'll do it. Yes, no problem. And then that's when Special Forces Foundation came along. It's like, guess what? We can use you too.
We can pimp you out.
Yeah, we can pimp you out. I'm like, you know what? And that's what I want to do. I want to give back. I want to help because I have seen the struggles that my brothers and sisters, because I've seen in the the females as well, that my sisters go through. And I go like, why do we have to hurt that bad? And the reason we hurt that bad is because nobody out there is helping us, or at least we don't know where the resources are. I think that's the biggest problem. So when you transition, people give you a little list, they'll give you a few classes and you go on your own, and you're like, oh, okay, great. But yeah, I think I like to have people coming together and helping each other out. It doesn't matter, whether he's doing the same thing I'm doing, or we got 2 foundations together. Who cares? We got 5 foundations in this one working together. Actually, technically, we got 6. We got Off-Road Outreach doing a lot of stuff for us.
Shout out to
So,
Stacy.
shout out to Stacy for that. So if you think about it, you got a lot of foundations together for this one event. And nobody's going like, well, I'm better than you. I'm better than you. Everybody's going like, no, we're here for the same purpose and we're helping the same people. And maybe you can reach 2 people that this foundation can reach. And it just happened to save 2 more.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and that's what it's all about.
Teamwork.
That is what it's all about. And really, we were so excited to be a part of this specifically because of that, right? We all have something that we're bringing to the table. And maybe I can't reach somebody, but I can give them a warm handoff to someone that I do know personally that can help them. And you did that. I mean, you and TJ sitting around at Charlie Mike's coming up with this great idea, which I've been wrecking every day, just so you know, so I can at least do a little bit every day. JP, when you transitioned out, do you feel that the military is getting better with that program on helping service members find that transition a little bit smoother and doing a better job at recognizing when people are struggling? Do you feel that's gotten better over the years?
When I talk to people that recently separated, I think they're getting a little bit better. What happened is in the past, you used to have your...
So tell me about the transition.
So when I talk to people that recently transitioned, one thing that I did notice is, yes, the military is getting better. They're not there yet. They're not perfect, but they're getting better. They're actually allowing soldiers now more time before they retire to start going job hunting and doing things like that. What happened before, it was like, technically you were supposed to get about 6 months out or maybe a year out. You can start doing ACAP, right, for transition.
Right.
And so you could start doing that. But the problem is a lot of the units were like, oh yeah, you can start ACAP. That doesn't mean you're done working. So you start going to how to write a resume. Then you go another appointment on how to do job interviews. Then you go to another appointment on, how to do your VA claim and things like that. But they never really gave you the time to go and start, let me talk to the CEO. Let me talk to that company owner. How do I do this? They never gave you that time. For what I heard now, most people are getting at least a year out. And they're actually letting them go. Even if you want to intern with a company and learn how to work as a vice president or as a manager or whatever, they're letting do that. Not all the units are doing it, but a lot of the units are. Apparently, I'm not sure if it is or not. Apparently, it's like an Army policy, 1 year out, you can start ACAPing, but I don't know. I think the entire military should do that. I mean, you're not losing anything by letting one guy out a year out. There's plenty of privates in basic training that you can pull from, trust me.
So I read a white paper out of JBLM talking about transition, and when they were discussing it, because they had a lot of suicidal ideations and suicides up there, and so they were trying to where is the root cause of this? And one of the things they said was they found that most of the attempted suicides or or follow through were when the service member was in a place of transition. So whether it be getting out of the military or going from unit to unit or going through a divorce or coming home, whatever it looked like, that they did not feel that they mattered to anybody on either side of that transition. And so the struggle was, how do we make that service member feel that they're important? That even let's say if you're going from one unit to the next unit, and this was one of the cases, there was a ranger going from second bat down to third bat, and the second bat unit was going out to the field right when he was supposed to PCS, and he had no connection with third bat. And I'm sure that there was obviously other underlying issues there, but during that transition, he had spoken about how his unit here had just pretty much like let him go with nothing, and he wasn't feeling welcomed into the new unit. And so how do we make that transition a little bit smoother and strengthen those bonds so that the service member does know that they're cared about and that they do matter?
I think that comes to the leadership. Unfortunately, it doesn't matter what the big Army or Marine Corps or Air Force decide to do. If down to the unit commanders and the unit sergeant majors, senior leadership, basically, if they don't take it upon themselves to make sure that the soldiers know that, they will never know it. It might be in a policy somewhere, but if you actually don't show it to them, it won't matter. Because I think that the biggest problem is we're really good at getting a soldier or anyone who gets in trouble, and we're really good at really quick dropping all the regulations. This is what you did wrong, and this is how we're going to punish you. But when they're doing good, we're not good at letting them know that. And I think we need to let them know when they're doing good, when they're doing bad, and also when they're in the middle. Listen, I see you struggling. I know you can do better. How can I help you?
That's a great.
Now, of course, it comes to a point where the soldier got to do his part also, right? You can't just be lazy and expect everybody else to do everything for you. But as commanders, we have to make sure we do that. You have to make sure you go to the soldier, you go like, see you struggling, I see you doing this. How can I help you? Okay, this is how I can help you, and this is what I need you to do. But if you just go like, oh no, you're messing up.
Yeah.
Well, you're not helping.
You're only pointing out the negative things.
Correct.
So as nonprofit community partners, I think Kristin and I, and as a former commander, what do you feel as the outside community looking in, that we're the ones that are trying to provide that hope and help? As a commander, what would you say to us that we could do better to help give some hope to these service members?
I think nonprofits needs to get more involved with different events at military bases. They need to reach out to the commanders, not only to whichever post commander, different units, like for example here for Bragg, USAFIC, USASOC, the 82nd, reaching out to them and letting them know, listen, we provide the services, we got this. I see that you got an event coming, a family there, whatever. Mm-hmm. Can we come over and, set up a table, talk to the soldiers, or provide them with some kind of listen, they do all the time training days. Yes. All the units got training days. It might be twice a month. It might be once a week. You have a training day. They can schedule you in the calendar for one of those training days for you to come and talk to them for an hour. And now they're allowing the soldiers to see a different perspective. They're allowing the soldiers to see an outside entity that cares about them. Because a lot of times soldiers feel like, I'm a soldier, the civilians don't understand me and they don't care about me. And that's the mentality. That is the mentality. But if you're showing them, no, hey, hello, we are civilians, we do care about you, and we got all these resources available for you. And I think that will also help.
Like working in partnership with the other entities. And I know that I used to go on Mondays to, I called it Making Mondays Great Again because I'm genius with marketing. We would go to all of the commanders on the whatever installation I happened to be at that day. And really we were just bringing snacks, but it was my way of getting in with the commanders. So I could be like, hey, do you have anything coming up this week? Can we be of any support to you? And prior to that, we had we will build it, you will come type mentality, we were not going to the service member. We were expecting the service member to come to us. And I feel that that's where a lot of times we lack. We're not going where the struggle is. And when people are struggling, I mean, you're really at a raw point before you start reaching out. And we want to get there before you hit to that point, right?
That is correct. Listen, I got many friends that are transitioning. I got one that I talked to him about a week and a half ago when we were talking about it. And he's about to transition. He's about a year out. He's struggling right now. He got no idea what he wants to do, right? Even though that he knows that the Special Forces Foundation is there, I even gave him all the information. I got to pass the information to the Special Forces Foundation so they can reach out directly to him, because if they didn't go to him, he probably will never reach out.
Yes, 100%.
He probably will never reach out.
Hi, I'm JP Cervantes.
Hi, it's Gianna with the National Warrior Foundation.
How you doing, everybody? My name's TJ from Duck and Cover Initiative.
Our brothers and sisters in the military, law enforcement, and first responder communities often carry a burden that makes them want to leave us behind.
80% of our first responder community has reported experiencing traumatic events on the job.
There are 3 million veterans out there diagnosed with some type of mental health disorder.
Of veterans having served in Iraq or Afghanistan deal with major depression or post-traumatic stress.
1 in every 4 active duty service members has shown signs of PTS.
27.7 veterans commit suicide every single day, whether that be from substance abuse issues, whether that be from mental health issues. Regardless, there's one too many.
The Let's Walk It Out Rock March is a 222-mile journey from Fayetteville to Camp Lejeune and back.
April 8th through 18th, we want you to join us.
Folks, if you guys are able to, please jump in, please donate, please just raise awareness, come out and volunteer.
In April, Let's Walk It Out will kick off its 222-mile ruck, benefiting Special Forces Foundation and other charities dedicated to veteran wellness. All with the same mission mindset. You are not alone.
Suicide is the second leading cause of death in the U.S. military.
Our little bit of suffering that we're going to do walking is just a fragment of what our brothers and sisters go through. So please.
We stand together to break the silence and normalize the conversations surrounding all mental illness and suicide through collaboration, awareness, and intervention.
There are 10 legs to this ruck, 222 miles, a core group of veterans and individuals with listening ears and a willingness to continue the dialogue.
Do not cash out.
Together, let's work it out. Let's walk it out.
So please, pick up the phone is the most important thing.
Please reach out.
Together, we can end the stigma attached to PTSD and suicide.
Let's Walk It Out is hosting a 222-mile march that starts in Fayetteville dedicated to preventing suicide.
Sponsoring this march is easy. Just text Walk It Out to 41444.
We all know someone battling PTSD, mental illness, and suicidal thoughts.
Sponsor a leg of the march or in honor of a loved one. Just text Walk It Out to 41444 or visit letswalkitout.org.
So that is a perfect segue. So Kristin, let's just boom over to you for a hot minute. So I know, I mean, besides being somebody that I love and admire so deeply, this community means a lot to you. And we have together, I mean, we've seen a lot of losses in the last couple of years. Tell me a little bit about, well, one, let's talk about this new app, because I'm super, super excited for this app. So tell us a little bit about what you guys are doing with this app and the upcoming app, and how that you're going to make that work, and what's that look like?
So it's a peer-to-peer platform called I Relate, and it was designed by Green Berets for Green Berets because they understand the inherent security risks of, being vulnerable. So it's anonymous amongst the brethren type thing. You can go in and chat among your peers and relate, because no one can empathize with a Green Beret like a Green Beret. If it comes to a point that the soldier feels he needs outside professional resources, that is available within the app. And then, as we discussed before, Gia, in the near future, we are coming out with a sister app for the spouses, because, these women are the women behind the Green Berets, and support them and help them to do what they do. And it's not an easy task. So we're hoping we mesh those two together. So each side benefits mutually, and then they are a stronger unit together.
So the app, if I were a Green Beret and I were to go on to the app, it's is it like a fireside, like
Kind of like a fireside chat, but I would not know you are Gia. You would not know I am Kristin. We are anonymous, but it is verified that if you are in this app, you are a Green Beret. You have passed that test type thing with security. So you don't have to get in there and realize, no one has infiltrated that app that is not a Green Beret. And I drew a blank. But I think it goes back to there is a burden to be willing to talk and to come forward. We cannot force you to, but we can provide this for you, a forum. And because sometimes it's hard to be vulnerable to even your friends. But if you know there's a place that you can talk to people who have shared your experiences and know what it's like to have been to war and to see the things you've seen, to have been separated from your family and deal with the strife that is caused, because of that. There's a commonality that brings release to some degree, that type of thing. You, as a note, to access this app, you can go on iRelate, but the foundation, Special Forces Foundation, if you come to us directly and email us, or phone, our information can be found on the website. We provide you with a link. We pay the fee to. There is a small fee. It's not much, but we cover that. We want this to be, no stops to get assistance. We want to help the community. We don't want any burden, any speed bump in the way to remove.
I know that, my former spouse wasn't a Green Beret, but I do know that when I was married, our kitchen always would be or out by the fire pit, where the guys would all hang out. And that was a decompression, right? They just sat there and told stories from, Mogadishu to any little deployment that they've ever been on, or training event. And then likewise with the spouses, right? Because as much as I love my family, and I do love my family and friends, but on deployments, like, they couldn't relate, not for lack of trying or empathy.
No, it's just, if it's like anything else, a firefighter knows what a firefighter deals with. A policeman knows what a policeman deals with. It's the same, it's your community. It's what you live and breathe each day. It's what affects everything.
So for anybody that is oblivious to this world, which I can't even imagine at this point, let's talk a little bit about the Special Forces Foundation and what they're doing and what they have upcoming and how they're making a difference in our Green Berets' lives. Because we love them. We love you both.
Well, I love our foundation too. I think so. Our director of operations received a phone call last week, and a question was posed to her: how do you measure success within the foundation? And I thought her answer spoke volumes. She said, he was probably thinking of how much money we take in, how many events we do. And she said, we measure our success by how many families whose numbers we have in our personal cell phones, and they have ours in theirs. Because it is about community. It is exactly what we're doing with Let's Walk It Out. It's relational. It is not, here's a check, you're good to go. It is calling you, or knowing that you can call us at 1:00 in the morning. It is, your kid needs braces, but you don't have the money. We're going to help you with that. It is a relational approach and tailored to the Green Beret. We do all kinds of things from, we're actually in the process of developing a ketamine program. But, we have kind of spouse programs, marriage retreats, your traditional things. We do the events. I love to say I always pimp JP out unabashedly, because I do, because, things take money, cost money. But at the end of the day, it's knowing that the Green Berets and their families know that we are available to them. And that if we can't figure out, we're going to find out how to help him.
So what types of things do you guys are you guys doing that
Event wise?
most exciting upcoming for 2021 that you guys are doing for the Green Berets?
Event wise?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, event one.
well, let's walk it out.
Well, let's walk it out.
That's our biggest one. But what?
Let's walk it out.
I think one of the biggest ones that I'm excited about is the
Horse soldier dinner.
The horse soldier dinner. Yes.
Yeah. So we have a gala in October, up in New Jersey, in Paterson, New Jersey, at the Brownstone, and it's an iconic restaurant. And we will be honoring not only a Green Beret, but a law enforcement officer in the essence of Ronald Bucca, who was a firefighter and a Green Beret in 9/11. And he, you can't get more of a hero than that. So we will be doing that in October.
I'm excited about that one.
We're going to be honoring both Rich Dayskull, and he was instrumental in kind of fighting the VA for veterans' rights, and Bernard Carrick, who was the head police officer during 9/11. Yeah, but I mean that's fun, and it'd be fun to dress up and do all that. But we have, rucks. We like to go into group, and like you were saying, like we need to meet our soldiers where they're at, providing picnics, providing community days, things that don't necessarily get posted on social media, but we're there. We have a ruck coming in honor of our Ambassador JP Cervantes' birthday that we implemented last year under the COVID lockdown when everybody was going crazy, and we went, it was virtual, and we had an incredible response from the community. But we are taking that on the road this year to Utah, and we'll be out there in July. So it will be both virtual and on site. We're going to be in June. We're going to be up in New Hampshire with 6 Hour Academy, and shoot for the day with a Green Beret. So that'll be kind of fun.
I love that.
Yeah. So we got some pretty cool things coming up on the calendar, and so it's fun.
Important too, because I know, like the Rangers that I know, I think I was talking to Mario last night about it. If they're struggling, or they go out to do mandatory fun days, or fun on their own free volition, they're only doing it within that community of people that they trust. I mean, it's a small circle. It's not like it's not like group guys are going to go and want to do a voluntold mandatory fun day with a bunch of other units. And like other units, the same thing, right? Like I know my former spouse was a paratrooper, and for a long time, it's a big joke. Please don't laugh at me when I say this. I didn't know there was another MOS besides being a paratrooper. Lived and breathed being a paratrooper wife. Like it was like indoctrinated into me. Why is the sky blue? Because God loves the infantry. Grass grow. I mean, I just was like, I was so shocked when we got divorced, and I was like, what do you mean there's other jobs in the Army? And not to be ignorant, I just didn't. It's all I knew, and so because of that, I only knew other paratrooper wives, and we only hung out with paratroopers. And I can only imagine that it's very similar in each one of the MOSs. And as this progresses, and we start building this alliance amongst all the communities, JP, how do you think that we could do better at reaching our veteran community that's already out? I mean, if we're going to go and work with the commanders on the active duty side, what can we do to strengthen that relationship and help bring in those veterans that are already out?
Well, the ones that are already out, it's networking. You have to network. For example, I was talking to Kristin today. There's all kind of different associations out there, right? Like the Rangers got their own, the 82nd got an association and all that. In our case, you got the Special Forces Association. And I was talking to Kristin today when we were scouting sites about it. I was like, Special Forces Association is the best way to network, because everybody that is there is either retired or active duty, and they will either serve in leadership positions, not all, but majority serve in leadership positions or serving at that point. generals are part of the association. You got sergeant majors who are part of the association. So I think that you're reaching out to different associations, and you, as a soldier that already got out, find an association that you can go and link up with, whatever is that, an infantry association or medical, or maybe the VFW. Just find something that you can affiliate with, because that's how you're going to do your network, and that's how these organizations are going to be able to find you as well. And social media is a big thing. I don't care.
It is, yeah.
You know, even the old timers that I know right now got IG. They don't even know how to post a story, but they'll be stalking my IG. You know, and I go like, "Hey, old man, how are you looking at my IG?" He's like, "That's all I know how to do. Don't worry about it." Sometimes I'm afraid I'm gonna post something wrong because I don't know what button I'm hitting. So you know, but everybody got social media, and we need to reach out to everybody that got out over social media as well. And all you can do is put the message out. People who are out, a lot of people are already set on their ways, and it's hard for you to bring them back. You know?
Well, and I'm going to propose the inverse of that is, so we do big golf outings. We're going to have one in Colorado at the Sanctuary in the fall and another in Arizona. And those are the outings, in addition to the rucks, that bring in the civilian community. And then, you know, we usually pair them up with Green Berets to golf with, and they can kind of come into each other's worlds. It exposes them. And I think that is key, like for me personally, and, you know, as the director of events, is I am passionate about trying to mesh those two worlds, you know, to invite the civilians into that soldier's life type thing. And you know what, maybe the civilian has no military background, but can be someone that the soldier can rely on or develop a relationship, or, you know, like a fresh set of eyes at looking at things type thing, or know something outside that could help, outside of the community that could help and benefit type thing. You know, it comes back to that relationship type thing.
I heard this analogy the other day, and I'm going to look down while I read it because I want to make sure I say it right. But it was a service member talking about his life and trauma, and he said, your life is like a picture on the wall, and that's how you view your life, like one particular way. And then you take that picture off the wall and you smash it into 100 pieces, and you look at it and think, there's no way on the face of the earth that I can put these pieces back together and have that same picture. And you know that you're never going to stop feeling that way. So how do we help them realize that you're not going to have that same picture, but that you can have that picture? You can have a picture, just not that same picture again, and provide them hope that, yes, we do a lot of great fun events, but that we also have meaningful programs and connections and relationships that we can help rebuild a new picture.
Yeah, there are means to an end to get help type thing.
I really think that by the foundations doing the different events and bringing other veterans that have been successful at finding out that they're not the same way, that's the best way you're going to do it. I do it all the time. I talk to young kids all the time where they go like, oh my God, I got out, I'm not the same person. I look at them and I go like, listen, I'm 20 years older than you. Do you think I'm the same person I was when I was at your age? And do you think I'm the same person after multiple concussions, TBI, PTSD, blown up? And like, I'm not the same person.
Right.
But look at me. I'm here. I'm not at 100%. I'm at my 100% of now, not at the 100% that I was before. But you know what? The 100% of now is pretty damn good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think they need to start realizing that. And it's part of what TJ does, you know, with his foundation, is post-traumatic growth. Is how you learn that you're not the same person, but you still got all the leadership skills, all the same capabilities that you had before. You physically might not be the same, but you still got a whole lot you can give back.
Well, and this made me think of, you know, we're trying to get away from that stigma with PTSD. We're trying to drop the D, and kind of like we posted on VTSR, PTS is the body's systemic, you know, response to trauma. It's not a disorder. It's not an illness. Your body went through something, you know, but let's help rebuild it together And you're not alone. You're going to meet JP or someone like JP that has gone through it and is on the other side, or maybe struggling, but we're going to be transparent and vulnerable.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I still struggle. Right. I do. Right. I get nightmares every night. You can ask my girlfriend. She'll tell you I jump and hit her a few times a night. So, it's like I struggle, right? I still do. The difference is I know how to take that struggle and put that energy into good use. And that's something that it takes a while for you to get, but in order for you to get it, you need to get other veterans around you that are good. Not the ones that are complaining all the time about the army, did me wrong, the government is out to get me. You don't need those around you. You need the ones that are like, bro, you can do better. Look at me, I'm doing great. What do you like to do? Let me help you out. Let me bring you back up. Right. You're not going to be the same, but you can be back on top.
I love that. And I always say that too, like your trauma is not a disorder. People experience trauma in life. And that doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you. It just means we want to help strengthen and empower you to be stronger again. And it's okay. It's okay to struggle. Yeah. I had a bad morning. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with me, right?
Yeah. And there is an element of you have to be vulnerable. You have to be, willing to take that, because you have to take that step type thing. You have to be willing to engage.
Hey, Gia, there's one thing that I want to add. I don't know how long we got, so I want to add this. One thing that I want to remind everybody too is this. A lot of people think that mental health is only, or mental problems, right, might only be caused by PTS, right? I went to combat. I saw an explosion. I saw, this, my friends got killed, whatever that might be, right? What a lot of people don't realize, and it's hard for people to understand, is that even people that never deployed, right, might have mental health issues. There's TBI and concussions also cause a lot of mental health issues.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I mean, look how people feel. I got TBI. I got bad TBI, right? So a lot of people don't realize that, listen, you having headaches all the time, you having short-term memory loss, you forgetting stuff, that stuff start getting you upset. It start getting you mad at yourself. And at some point it start getting you depressed because you feel I'm not as effective as I used to be. I'm not as good at multitasking as I used to be. So it start getting, it becomes a toll on your mental health. So
it's a cycle.
Correct. It's a cycle. So TBI is also, can also cause mental health problems. And we need to realize that. So because I see a lot of people that, I know a lot of people exaggerate, right? And I like to call those out. I do it all the time. Oh my God, I saw, I went to combat. I'm like, bro, you were in Qatar the whole time. You didn't see a bullet fly, right? So don't tell me that your trauma is because of the things you're experiencing in combat. But I'm okay if you tell me your trauma is because, listen, my Humvee rolled over in Qatar or whatever I was at that point, or maybe at Fort Bragg, I got a concussion while jumping out of parachute, and now I got TBI. That's what is causing my mental health problem. I'm with you all day long. I'm with you all day long on that one.
Yeah.
Well, I want to, and I don't want to reiterate this wrong, but I feel as though Hunter 7 just put out some stats the other day that said people, or Doc Pate, that have had TBIs are 4 times more susceptible after 6 months to have suicidal ideations. I may be misquoting the exact number on that, but I want to feel like it was
high up there.
But to that respect, I think that you're right, and I think that also we know the top two number demographics of people who have committed suicide or have suicidal ideations in the military are the National Guard and the Marines, 18 to 34-year-old. This was last year's statistics. 18 to 34-year-old white males, and on the National Guard side, having never deployed. And I feel, having worked for the National Guard for several years, a big portion of that comes from financial struggles. You take this job, it's 1 weekend a month. And we had tons of homeless Guards members living in their cars just to come drill. And that's not an income that can sustain you, right? Unless you're full-time AGR. And so you are right. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's combat related. There could be a plethora of reasons why people experience trauma. And we want to make sure that we don't leave them out either of the situation or the equation.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So for me, one of the things that that I love the most about you guys, and thank you for being our first, but we've gotten so many.
Your inaugural podcast with us.
Yeah. TJ's going to be on too, and he's got a lot of good life experience that we had like a 3-hour FaceTime the other day. But for me,
oh yeah, he will talk your ear off.
he showed me all around the clubhouse, and it was like he's on it. I've never seen a clubhouse that's a motorcycle club on a golf course. So that was like, I think this is kind of bougie here.
We're gonna see.
You should see the one down in 7th group. It's like on the bay or the water.
We're gonna see him tonight.
Well,
Charlie Mike's.
I'll say the thing that I love the most about you guys, and specifically, those of us that are coming together for this ruck, is that we all will have the same essence of community amongst us, and that we really believe that we have to support and empower one another, each of the foundations, each of the nonprofits, and that is the only way. The only way is if we're working together that we can achieve the mission that we all say that we truly believe in.
Well, it has to be done corporately, because if it's not done corporately, it's not going to be done individually, and vice versa.
And I appreciate you guys for doing that. JP, I will tell you that I sit on the board for the Worldwide Ranger Association, and they did say the Special Forces Association has the best laid out plans. And so they're just so you know, I'll just throw that in there. They're probably going to kill me for saying that, but they are trying to replicate that umbrella effect, right? Which is,
if it works,
it's like,
I'll tell you, there's a couple of Rangers that are part of the Special Forces Association. I think they're infiltrated just for that purpose.
So they could like figure out the plans. But I mean, that it really is, and because you guys have it right in the fact that everybody is all under one umbrella and we work together with a different purpose. And that's what I love about us. And I love this ruck, and I'm so excited. And we want, one more time, we're just going to put in a little plug for this ruck, April 7th through 17th.
Correct. April 8th to 17th.
You're flying in on the 7th, Gina.
You're flying in on the 7th.
Hey, so what I mean to say is April 8th to 17th. What time are we leaving in the morning?
We're planning, so the opening ceremony is going to be at 10 a.m.
Okay.
Planning on leaving shortly after that. Hopefully no later. My goal is no later than 11. We are walking off Charlie Mike's, because that first walk is going to take about 7 hours, 7.5 hours. And we want to make it to Otriville during daylight. So,
which, if we blink, we might walk through it.
If you blink, you walk through Otriville. Like you'll be like 2 steps later, you're like, oh man, it was back there. So
the communities have been great to us, though, right? Like,
absolutely.
I gotta
give sponsors.
I gotta give credit to Mayor Spell, the mayor of Otriville.
Yeah,
was amazing, offering his location, his park, his town hall for us to stop there and be able to join the community. He's going to have the firefighters join us over there and all that. And I mean, and everybody else in Clinton, Performance CDR, and everybody along the route that
Mission Barbecue,
Barbecue, everybody that have provided support for this. I
Charlie
really appreciate it. Charlie Mike's, all the leg sponsors, all the raffle sponsors, all the people that have donated, that have bought raffle tickets. Right before we started on this, I saw another purchase of raffle tickets. I'm like, yes, this is awesome. So I'm just really excited.
It's exciting to see the community come together.
I think the nation, right? I mean, this is, it's never been done. So
we were talking about that today when we were out, doing our logistics or whatever. We have you coming in from Alaska, people coming in from California.
You got one Core Walker coming from Puerto Rico.
What?
Yes. Pablo Santiago is coming all the way from Puerto Rico to represent law enforcement.
Oh my gosh,
it's exciting.
Yep.
And so if we have people that want to join in virtually or want to come just like in the towns as we walk through there, how can they do that? What does that look like?
So just go to letswalkitout.org and go into join the movement, and you can go into register. Once you go into register, there's going to be different options. One will be to walk the whole thing with us, which I don't think a lot of people want to do. Another one is walk half of the way with us. A lot of people don't even want to do that. Then you'll find an option that is a free leg. You can register for free. And that's, if you just want to join us in the town or walk one day with us or just a few miles, just go ahead and register and do what you can. And then we got logistic vans that you can jump in. They'll drop you off in the town, and that's it. And you spend a little bit of time with us, and we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna be talking the whole time, making jokes, making fun of each other because somebody's hurting, and that's how we're gonna make it through.
That's what TJ said. TJ said, I'm not practicing or like training for this because I want to embrace the suck. And I was like,
that's exactly what he said. He said, when people ask him, TJ, why are you not training? How are you going to do it? He goes like, easy, putting one foot in front of the other one and sucking it up.
I want to say, I know Kristin and I talked about it. We talked about it on the meetings. If we have people that want to join us virtually or just walk 222 miles, right? We want people to post their pictures.
Yes.
Yes.
Hold up their sign, hashtag walk it out, hashtag 222. Please join us. We want everybody, the communities, the nation, the world to be a part of this event and bring awareness and normalize this conversation.
That's correct.
And you know what? If you don't want to walk, you don't want to get off your couch or whatever, go on the Let's Walk It Out website, familiarize yourself with the foundations that it supports, because you never know, you might be able to direct someone or benefit from knowing, what they do.
Absolutely. And again, we'll just say it because this is the community that we're all in. If you or somebody else knows someone that needs help, please reach out. Like all of us that are in the foundational world, we want to help. We're here. There are hotlines set up. Please don't let anybody suffer in silence. We want to really impress upon people that it's okay.
It's okay. Life is precious. It's a journey, but it's precious.
Anybody got any last words? Anybody got any trivia words for tonight?
No, but it's St. Patrick's Day, and I just had a grandson, so we are going to celebrate. Look at you.
I know, congratulations. What's your grandson's name?
Bodie. Like Bodie Miller.
Bodie. All right, JP, any last words?
No, that's it. I really appreciate you giving us the opportunity to be in your first podcast.
Yes, really.
Yeah, and to everybody else out there, like Gia said, one, go to letswalkitout.org and support or just get familiarized with the cause and share it with your friends. And two, do not suffer in silence. You're not alone. You're not the only one struggling. Just because I'm always smiling doesn't mean I don't struggle, all right? I understand you. Reach out to these beautiful ladies right here, different organizations that you can find in our website. There's hotlines that you can find in our website as well. Reach out to your friends. Just last week, I talked to 2 different people out of my Instagram, Green Berets, that I have never even met before. I know them from Instagram because other people know them. And I had to talk to them about and talk them out of suicide. So I do this all the time, and it hurts me to have to do that. Because I know they're struggling, so it hurts me. But at the same time, it makes me feel good that I save a life. But again, I don't know if, how long that's going to last before I have to talk to them again. But so reach out to someone, because I guarantee you, I talk to people I don't even know. I guarantee you, if you reach out to one of your friends, is going to listen to you. So just reach out to someone. That's all I'm asking.
Thank you, JP. Thank you for what you give back to the community.
Truly.
I mean, honestly, you're one of the most humble. It's going to make me cry. Like, you're one of the most humble, great men and people that I know, not just in the community, but to everyone. And you're so welcoming, and you make everybody feel as though they are really important and special. And they are, but you really do.
A lot you do goes unseen. A lot of people know you on Instagram, on Facebook, you're a social media icon, but you do a lot that goes unseen and unsung.
So
yeah.
We really appreciate you. And I love you, and I'm so proud to have you both as my friend. And Kristin, I am so thankful that you came on and that you're on board. Like, you were in the position that you were made to be in. Like this.
Thank you, Gia. Well, likewise, girl. Look what you're doing.
We are changing 2021, bringing it in.
Right?
All right. I love you guys. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Congratulations on both.
Thank you for having us on. And thank you to everyone
have fun tonight.
Supporting the Let's Walk It Out event.
Special thank you to our guests, JP Cervantes and Special Forces Foundation Kristin Buxton, for being here today. You've been listening to Stronger Together, the podcast, a production of the National Warrior Foundation, hosted by Gianna Varadi, Produced by Kristin George with creative direction from Jamie Gomez. All images and logos are copyrighted and served for the sole purpose of use by the National Warrior Foundation.